CIET NCERT presents the audiobook Curiosity, Textbook of Science for Class 6.
Chapter 4 Exploring Magnets, page 61. Reshma lives in a coastal town of Kerala and is very fond of writing short stories. Her grandmother loves listening to her stories, so Reshma was writing a new story to share with her grandmother on her 60th birthday. On the left side of the page is an image of a girl writing. The story was based on a ship carrying spices from Kerala for trade in the olden days. Reshma was aware that in those days, the sailors used stars to find directions at night. But in her story, a situation arose wherein the sailors got caught in a storm with an overcast sky and stars were not visible. On the right side of the page is a picture sailing in the stormy oceans at night. Reshma could not take her story forward as she could not think of a way for sailors to find directions. She searched for information on the internet and her school library. She learned that travelers used a device known as a magnetic compass for finding directions. On the left side of the page is a picture of a magnetic compass. Reshma had seen pencil boxes and purses which had magnets to keep them closed. A writing board in her school also had a duster with a magnet, but she had never looked at those carefully. She now became curious to learn more about magnets and magnetic compasses. Page 62. On the top of the page, images of some common items that have magnets attached to them are given, like a paper pin holder, a whiteboard duster, mobile case, a pencil box, cupboard lock, and the fridge door. The magnets used by the sailors in the olden days were based on naturally occurring magnets known as lodestones, which were discovered in ancient times. Later on, people found out that magnets could also be made from pieces of iron. Nowadays, we have magnets that are made of different materials. The magnets that you find in your school laboratory and those used in pencil boxes, stickers, toys are all artificial magnets. The magnets can be of various shapes. On the left side of the page, magnets of different kinds are shown. These include bar magnets, U-shaped magnets, ring magnets. In the center of the page is a box with a question. Do magnets stick to objects made of certain materials only? Section 4.1 Magnetic and Non-Magnetic Materials. Activity 4.1 Let us explore. To complete this activity, you will need to take the help of Table 4.1 given in page 63. Table 4.1 Identifying the materials attracted by magnet. In this table, there are 3 columns. The first column is name of the object. The second column is the material which the object is made up of. The column is further subdivided into plastic, wood, glass, iron, or any other. The third column is the question attracted by the magnet, yes or no. This column is further divided into the prediction and observation. The first row of this table is pencil as the name of the object. The material which the object is made of is given as wood. The third column, attracted by the magnet, has to be written by you based on your prediction. Then give your observations also. Row 2, name of the object, eraser. Material which the object is made of, rubber. Write your predictions whether eraser will be attracted to the magnet and then give your observation in column 3. In the next 8 rows, fill 8 other objects in the table and fill the corresponding columns accordingly. Step 1 of the activity. Collect a few objects made of different materials and also a magnet. Step 2. Predict which of the objects will stick to the magnet. Write your predictions in Table 4.1. Step 3. Now hold a magnet in your hand and bring it near to the object one by one. Observe which of the objects stick to the magnet. Page 63. On the top of the page, images of various objects are given. These objects have to be tested for their attraction towards the magnet. The objects include a board, nail, paper, paper clip, wire, key, sharpener, all pins, matchbox, sketch pen, glass, scissors, candle, scale, stapler, pencil, cloth, and a magnet. Step 4. Record your observations in Table 4.1. Page 64. Was your prediction correct for all objects? Which materials stuck to the magnet? What conclusion can you draw? Through this activity, we found out that some of the objects were attracted to the magnet and stuck to it, while others were not. The materials which are attracted towards a magnet are called magnetic materials. The metal iron is a magnetic material. Nickel and cobalt are other metals that are also magnetic. Some of their combinations with other metals are also attracted towards magnets. The materials which are not attracted towards a magnet are called non-magnetic materials. Which materials listed in Table 4.1 were found to be non-magnetic? In the left side of the page is a box with a question. Do all parts of a magnet attract magnetic materials equally? Section 4.2. Poles of a magnet. Activity 4.2. Let us investigate. 1. Spread some iron filings, very small pieces of iron, on a sheet of paper. Place a bar magnet over them. Tap the paper and observe carefully what happens to the iron filings. Do you observe anything special about the way they stick to the magnet? Do the iron filings stick all over the magnet uniformly, or do the iron filings stick more at some places? We find that maximum iron filings stick near the ends of the magnet, while a very few iron filings stick at the remaining part of the magnet. On the bottom of the page is an image of a bar magnet and iron filings. In this image, iron filings are stuck to a bar magnet towards the poles. On the bottom right of the page is an image of a schoolgirl thinking. If we repeat this activity with magnets of other shapes, do we get the same result? Page 65. These ends of a magnet are called the two poles of the magnet, the North Pole and the South Pole. Most of the iron filings stick to the poles of a magnet of any shape. On the top of the page is a box with a question. Can we find a magnet with a single pole? It is not possible to obtain a magnet with a single pole. If a magnet is broken into smaller pieces, north and south poles always exist in pairs, even in the smallest piece of the magnet. A single north pole or a single south pole cannot exist. Section 4.3. Finding directions. Activity 4.3. Let us experiment. 1. Suspend a bar magnet with a thread tied to the middle of the magnet. You may need to adjust the position of the string till the magnet is balanced horizontally. On the right side of the page is an image of a freely suspended bar magnet from a table. 2. Now rotate the magnet gently in the horizontal direction and let it come to rest. 3. Mark the position corresponding to the ends of the magnet on the ground or on a piece of paper stuck to the ground. Join these 2 points on the ground with a line. This line indicates the direction along which the magnet comes to rest. 4. Now again rotate the magnet by giving a gentle push at its one end and wait till it comes to rest. Does the magnet rest along the same line? On the bottom of the page is an image of a schoolgirl thinking a question. What direction does this line indicate along which the magnet rests? How can we find it out? At the bottom of the page is another box in the right. It says, if we have noticed the direction where the sun rises or sets, we have an approximate idea of where east or west is. Hence, we can locate the direction along which the magnet rests. Page 66. A freely suspended magnet comes to rest along the north-south direction. The end of the magnet that points towards the north direction is called the north-seeking pole or the north pole of the magnet. The other end that points towards the south direction is called the south-seeking pole or the south pole of the magnet. A freely suspended magnet rests along the north-south direction because our Earth itself behaves like a giant magnet. Repeat this activity with a small iron bar in place of a bar magnet. What do you observe? Does it always rest along the north-south direction? It does not. It can rest along with any direction. This implies that only magnets rest along north-south direction. This activity provides us with a way to test whether a piece of metal is a magnet or not. The property of a freely suspended magnet to always rest along the north-south direction is used to find directions. Based on this, a small device called a magnetic compass was developed in olden days for finding directions. It has a magnet in the shape of a needle which can rotate freely. In the middle of the page, there is an image of a magnetic compass. The needle of the magnetic compass indicates the north-south direction. The compass is kept at a place where we wish to know the directions. After some time, the needle comes to rest in the north-south direction. The compass box is then gently rotated until the north and south marked on the dials are aligned with the needle. Now, all directions at place are indicated on the dial. On the bottom of the page is a box with a title, More to Know. The box also has a picture of a schoolgirl asking the question, how can we make our own magnetic compass? A magnetic compass is usually a small circular box with a transparent cover on it. The magnet, in the shape of a needle, is mounted on a pin standing on the bottom of the box. This needle is balanced on the pin in such a manner that it can move around this point easily. That is, it can rotate freely. The end of the needle, which rests in the north direction, is usually painted red. Below the needle, there is a dial with directions marked on it. Page 67. Activity 4.4. Let us construct. 1. Collect a few materials like cork piece, iron sewing needle, a permanent bar magnet, a glass bowl, and water. 2. Place the iron sewing needle on a wooden table. Then keep any one pole of the magnet at one end of the needle. Move the magnet over the needle along its length. When it reaches the other end of the needle, lift it up. 3. Bring the same pole of the magnet you started with to the same end of the sewing needle from which you began and repeat the previous step. Repeat this process at least 30 to 40 times. 4. Bring some iron filings or steel pins near the needle. If the pins or iron filings get attracted to the needle, then that means the needle has become a magnet. 5th. Pass this needle through the cork horizontally. Float the cork on a glass bowl filled with water, such that the needle always remains above the level of the water. 6th. When the needle comes to rest, your magnetic compass is ready for use. Note the direction in which either side of the needle points. 7th. Rotate the cork gently and wait till it stops rotating. Repeat this a few times more. Do the ends of the needle always point in the same direction? On the middle side of the page is an image of a compass needle in a water bowl. On the top of the page is an image of how to make an iron needle. On the bottom of the page is a box with the title More to Know. The box has a picture of a schoolgirl asking the question, what happens when we bring two magnets closer to each other? Much before the widespread use of modern magnetic compass, a device similar to the compass needle made by you was used by Indians for navigation at sea. It consisted of a magnetized fish-shaped iron piece kept in a vessel of oil. It was called Matsya Yantra or Matsyayantra. Page 68. Section 4.4. Attraction and repulsion between magnets. Activity 4.5. Let us experiment. 1. Take a pair of bar magnets on which north and south poles have been marked. Mark the two bar magnets as A and B. 2. Place the longer side of the magnet A over 5 to 6 round-shaped pencils. 3. Now bring one end of the magnet B near the end of the magnet A placed on the pencils. Make sure that the two magnets do not touch each other. Observe what happens. 4. Next, bring the other end of the magnet B near the same end of magnet A. Does the magnet A on the pencils begin to move? Does it always move in the same direction of the approaching magnet? What do these observations suggest? In the middle of the page are two images depicting the interaction between two bar magnets. On the left side of the image is that of a bar magnet with the south pole of one magnet facing the north pole of the other bar magnet. In the second image on the right side is the bar magnet with the south pole of one magnet facing the south pole of the second magnet. You will see that unlike poles of two magnets, that is, the north pole of one magnet and the south pole of another magnet attract each other. The like poles, that is, either the north poles or the south poles of both magnets repel each other. Page 69. 5. Repeat the activity by using an iron bar in place of one of the magnets. What do you observe this time? You will find that both the ends of the iron bar will be attracted by both the north and south poles of the magnet. From this activity, we find that a magnet can be identified by its properties of repulsion. Activity 4.6. Let us experiment. 1. Take a magnetic compass and a bar magnet. 2. Place the magnetic compass over a horizontal surface and wait for its needles to come to rest. 3. Now slowly bring north pole of the bar magnet close to the north pole of the compass needle. Observe the compass needle carefully. What do you observe? Does the needle deflect? If yes, in which direction? On the bottom of the page are two images depicting the interaction between a compass needle and a magnet. In the first image, the north pole is placed close to the compass, while in the second image, the south pole is placed close to the compass. 4. Now repeat the above steps with the south pole of the bar magnet. Do you observe any difference this time? In the middle of the page is a picture of a schoolgirl asking a question. The compass needle is also a magnet. Will it show the same behavior if a magnet is brought closer to it? Page 70. When the north pole of a magnet is brought closer to the north pole of a compass needle, it moves away. When the south pole of the magnet is brought closer to the north pole of the compass needle, it moves closer. In the middle of the page is a picture of a schoolgirl asking a question. Suppose we place a piece of wood between the compass needle and the magnet. Will this affect the deflection of the compass needle? Activity 4.7. Let us investigate. 1. Repeat the first or second part of activity 4.6. 2. Without disturbing the bar magnet and magnetic compass, place a piece of wood between them, perpendicular to the table. In the middle of the page is an image with a compass needle, magnet, and a piece of wood in between the compass needle and the magnet. Observe the compass needle carefully. 3. Is there any effect on the deflection of compass needle due to the piece of wood? Record your observations in Table 4.2. Table 4.2. Observing the effect of magnet through non-magnetic materials. In this table, there are 3 columns. The first column is the serial number. The second column is the material placed between the magnet and the compass needle. And the third column is the observation. Row 1 is wood as the material between the magnet and the compass needle. Fill in your observations in this row. Row 2. Cardboard is the material placed between the magnet and the compass needle. Fill in your observation in this row. Row 3. Plastic is the material placed between the magnet and the compass needle. Fill in your observations in this row. Row 4. Glass is the material placed between the magnet and the compass needle. Fill in your observations in this row. 4. Repeat the process by replacing the piece of wood by a cardboard sheet, thin plastic sheet, and thin glass sheet. Page 71. You would observe that there is no appreciable change in the deflection of the needle when a sheet of any of the above material is placed between the magnet and the compass needle. So, we can conclude that the magnetic effect can act through non-magnetic materials. Section 4.5. Fun with magnets. After learning about magnets, Reshma was very excited and decided to set up some fun activities using magnets at her school fair. You may try making these yourself and may also think of some more fun ideas. Can we make a garland? On the bottom of a page is the image of a magnetic garland. There is also an image of a schoolgirl sharing a fun fact about magnets. She says, "Magnets can move some objects without touching them." Is that not amazing? Page 72. On the left side of the page is a board game where players are expected to take out a steel ball from the maze by moving the magnets below the cardboard tray. Can we take the steel balls out of the maze by moving a magnet below the cardboard tray? On the right side of the page is an image of a steel paper clip in water, and the experimenter is trying to take the steel paper clip from the glass full of water without making her fingers wet or the magnet wet. Can we pick out a steel paper clip fallen in water using a magnet without making our fingers or magnet wet? On the bottom of the page are 2 matchbox magnet cars with poles of magnets facing each other. Will the 2 cars speed towards each other or run away from each other when brought closer? On the bottom of a page is a box with the title, More to Know. In some magnets, the north and south poles are marked as N and S. In some other magnets, the north pole is indicated by a white dot. Sometimes, the north pole of a magnet is painted red and south pole is painted blue. Page 73. On the top of the page is a box with the title, More to Know. The box has pictures of magnets and a cautionary note. The cautionary note reads, "Caution, have fun, but treat magnets with care." The box reads, "How to keep magnets safe." The cartoon magnet says, "Store me properly. Keep me in pairs with unlike poles on the same side. Keep a piece of wood in between. Place 2 pieces of soft iron across the ends. Do not heat me or drop me or hammer me. Do not keep me near mobile phones or remote controls." Keywords from this chapter: attraction, bar magnet, magnetic compass, magnetic materials, non-magnetic materials, north pole of a magnet, repulsion, ring magnet, South pole of a magnet, U-shaped magnet. Conclude, construct, experiment, explore, investigate, observe, predict, record. Page 74. Summary, key points. First, a magnet has two poles, the North Pole and the South Pole. Second, the poles of a magnet always exist in pairs. A single North Pole or a single South Pole cannot exist. Third, magnetic materials are the materials that are attracted towards a magnet. Fourth, non-magnetic materials are the materials that are not attracted towards a magnet. Fifth, a freely suspended magnet rests along the north-south direction. Sixth, the needle of a magnet compass indicates the north-south direction. Seventh, when two magnets are brought close to each other, like poles, north-north, south-south, repel each other, while unlike poles, north-south, attract each other. Let us enhance our learning. Question 1. Fill in the blanks. Part A. Unlike the poles of a magnet, fill in the blank, each other, whereas the poles of a magnet, fill in the blank, each other. Part 2. The materials that are attracted towards a magnet are called fill in the blank. Part 3. The needle of a magnetic compass rests along the fill in the blank direction. Part 4. A magnet always has fill in the blank poles. Question 2. State whether the following statements are true or false. 1. A magnet can be broken into pieces to obtain a single pole. 2. Similar poles of a magnet repel each other. 3. Iron filings mostly stick to the middle of a bar magnet when it is brought near them. 4. A freely suspended bar magnet always aligns with the north-south direction. Page 75. Question 3. To solve question 3, there is a table with two columns. Column 1 shows different positions in which one pole of a magnet is placed near that of the other. Column 2 indicates the resulting interaction between them for different situations. Fill in the blanks. Column 1, north-north. Fill in the blank stating the resulting interaction between a magnet with a north-north direction. Row 2, north. Fill in the blank. Column 2. The interaction is that of attraction. South-north. Column 2. Write the resulting interaction between two magnets of south-north. Row 4. Fill in the blank. South. The resulting interaction between the two magnets is that of repulsion. Question 4. On the left-hand side of the page is an image of a bar magnet with a heap of steel U-clips. On the bar magnet, there are three positions marked: A on the side of the North Pole, B on the middle of the bar magnet, and C on the south side of the pole. Atharv performed an experiment in which he took a bar magnet and rolled it over a heap of steel U-clips. According to you, which of the options given in Table 4.3 is likely to be his observation? Table 4.3. Number of pins attracted by the magnet at its various positions. Table 4.3 has three columns where the number of pins attracted by the magnet at its various positions are explained. Column 1, position A. Column 2, position B. Column 3, position C. Row 1, 10 steel U-clips. Position B, 2 steel U-clips. Position C, 10 steel U-clips. Row 2, position A, 10 steel U-clips. Position B, 10 steel U-clips. Position C, 2 steel U-clips. Row 3, position A, 2 steel U-clips. Position B, 10 steel U-clips. Position C, 10 steel U-clips. Row 4, position A, 10 steel U-clips. Position B, 10 steel U-clips. Position C, 10 steel U-clips. Question 5. Reshma bought 3 identical metal bars from the market. Out of these metal bars, 2 were magnets and 1 was just a piece of iron. How can she identify Which two amongst the three could be magnets without using any other material? Question 6. You are given a magnet which does not have poles marked. How can you find its poles with the help of another magnet which has its poles marked? Page 76. Question 7. A bar magnet has no markings to indicate its poles. How would you find out near which end is its north pole located without using an other magnet? Question 8. If the Earth is itself a magnet, can you guess the poles of Earth's magnet by looking at the direction of the magnetic compass? Question 9. While a mechanic was repairing a gadget using a screwdriver, the steel screws kept falling down. Suggest a way to solve the problem of the mechanic on the basis of what you have learned in this chapter. Question 10. Two ring magnets X and Y are arranged one on top of another. On the top of the page is an image where two rings magnets are arranged one on top of another. It is observed that the magnet X does not move further down. What could be the possible reason? Suggest a way to bring the magnet X in contact with magnet Y without pushing either of the magnets. Question 11. Three magnets are arranged on a table. What is the polarity, north or south, at the ends 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the magnets? Polarity of one end 5 is given for you. On the right hand side is an image where three bar magnets are arranged in a horizontal, vertical, horizontal position, and the points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 are mentioned. Point 5 is the north pole of the bar magnet. Learning further. 1. Using 3 to 4 different magnets, try to lift steel pins or U-clips and check with magnets. Pick up the largest number of pins. Discuss with your friends why different magnets might have picked up different number of pins. 2. Make a toy, hopping frog, as a combined class activity with the help of your teacher. For constructing the toy, fix ring magnets in an alternate north-south fashion along the length of the scale using glue. Page 77. Paint a frog on the paper, cut along the outline and glue a ring magnet at its base. Take a transparent, flexible plastic strip of a smaller size and glue it to the ring magnet which is attached to the frog. In the center of the page is given 3 images. 1. With a frog on a plastic strip. 2. Ring magnets arranged on a scale. And 3. The frog with a plastic strip placed on top of the scale with bar magnets. When you slide the plastic strip with frog over the scale with bar magnets, you can observe the frog hopping. 3. Find out about the maglev train and try to make its model. 4. Try to find out why there is a need to make magnets of different shapes. 5. Collect information related to the use of magnets in the field of medicine. Page 78. On the top of the page is a box with the title More to Know. The box has pictures of magnets. Magnet says, humans have made me in different shapes and sizes as per their requirements. However, my poles always occur in pairs, no matter my shape. Box has a table with 5 columns. There is a bar magnet with the north and south pole in a horizontal direction and the north and south pole in the vertical direction. The second column is a disc magnet with the north and south pole in the horizontal direction and the north and south pole in the vertical direction. The third column is a cylindrical magnet with the north pole being on top of the cylinder and the south pole being at the bottom of the cylinder. The second image is the north pole being on the left hand side of the cylinder and the south pole being on the right hand side of the cylinder. The fourth column is a ring magnet where The south pole is on one side, on the left side of ring magnet, and the north pole is on the right side of the ring magnet. The second image is of the north pole being on the top of the ring magnet and the south pole being on the bottom of the ring magnet. The third image is the north pole being on the outer ring of the magnet while the south pole being on the inner ring of the magnet. The fifth column is a spherical magnet where the north pole is on the left of the sphere and the south pole is on the right of the sphere. Chapter 4 ends here.
Curiosity. You were just listening to this audiobook, Textbook of Science for Class 6. Narration, Dr. Pranita Gopal. Technical coordination, Bati Langlingdo. Sound recordist, Virendra Rawat. Assistance in production, Muhammad Shamim Khan. Directed and produced by Vimlesh Chaudhary. This audiobook is brought to you by CIET NCERT, New Delhi, India.